one another. That's God. He said, let the wheat and the tare come together, and he'll separate them. If you put your hands on any of God's people, touch not my anointed, or do my prophets no harm, you will be next. That's all I can tell you. Step out the way and let God do God. Now, see, I look and I gotta really concentrate, and I had to look at this thing, and I said, we're not here for Bumpy now. Amen. Bumpy's already with the Lord with my sister. Amen. He died on the same day that my sister's birthday. Who am I talking to right now? Come on. That was God saying that, baby, you with your grandmama now. That wasn't negative. That was a positive that she got her grandson, and you best to believe they running around now rejoicing because she was waiting for that baby. I've been in that house. See, that hand that touched my head was a blessed hand that had a little struggle here, but that was okay because he never disrespected me. Yo, when you say, boom, Uncle Lloyd, how you doing, man? And I'm like, all right, Bumpy. And then I hug him and I would talk to him, and we had some deep talks. It just reminded me of a story when I was on an airplane. And I was first class, and it was this lady had a kid. And she had a bunch of children, and she had this one kid, and she put him right in the front seat with me. And I looked, and all of a sudden, a hand touched this kid's head. But this kid didn't flinch. So the mother came and she put an iPod in front of him. And he's sitting there, and I watched him, and he just knew how to work that computer. I mean, man, he was something. You think he wasn't paying attention. And when I said, hey, son, he said, hey, how you doing? And went right back. He heard every word I said. Then all of a sudden, the hand hit his head again. And this kid didn't flinch. Oh, my God. I said, wow, he's so involved in that computer, he don't know who's touching him. So as we were landing, and as we were exiting, I saw the kid walk out that door, right there. And as he's walking out the door, the hand hit his head. And he didn't flinch. What that was telling me was this kid was always used to having a hand touch his head. I don't know who I'm talking to, but my nephew was a blessed individual. We all went through some struggles and came out of it. But he went through it and went home to the Lord. He was strong at who he was, and he was a lovable man. But all too many times, because of this educational system, because of all this stuff that's happening, especially in New Jersey, I don't know about here in the South, it's designed for us to fail and not move forward. So we got to do to eat. Why do I say that? It's a girl, Caucasian Polish girl, that works for me. She just started the job last year. And me and her started talking. She was a school teacher in the city of East Orange. And this is an all-black school. And I said, why did you leave? She said, because I love my children. I said, what does that have to do with it? She said that we got these state tests, and they're teaching them farming, they would never ever be able to pass. And I can't stand to see it. So right now, we got to grab our children. We got to raise them together in unity. We got to hold them together in love. And I stopped by to just tell you how we can do this. See, when David faced a giant, he didn't have a shotgun, he didn't have a knife, but he took a slingshot with 5 rocks. Am I in this word? His slingshot was this book right here. His rocks that he had was the word that came out of this book right here. In order to defeat the devil, you have to have the knowledge to bust him right in his head and sit him down. That's what David did. He took a rock and he hit him with the word right in the middle of his head, and he fell. My first rock is don't look back. Genesis 19:26. But like Lot's wife looked back and she became a pillar of salt. Don't look back and go back to where you were. Keep moving forward because God has grace for you. He said, in your weakness, his strength is shown, which is his glory. My next one is clean up. 2 Samuel 12:20. Then David got from the floor, washed himself, put on lotion, changed his clothes. Then he went into the Lord's house to worship. After that, he went home and asked for something to eat. His servants gave him some food and he ate. They couldn't believe that David just lost his son. He was crying because he looked at Uriah's wife. If you remember that story, he was standing on the balcony. He was a king. And he looked down, and Uriah's wife was taking a bath, and he found her real beautiful. He took her, she got impregnated because of what he did. And Uriah is called the light. Uriah would sit on the front line, and the light was put out. That's when he wept, and he got that Psalms, give me a clean heart and a renewed spirit. He cried and cried up until this day. When this day came, this day, he knew that he couldn't do no more. So he got up, he cleaned up, and he said, I'll see my child again. Am I in this Bible? And he went on and continued doing the Lord's work. Then I got another rock. Forget what they say. Luke 23:32-33. There were also known two others, criminals, led him to be put on death. And when they had come to the place called Calvary, they crucified him and the criminals, one on the right and one on the left. Then Jesus said, For God, Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. This is Jesus talking about criminals who were put there for a reason, but Jesus blessed them. I had a rabbi who's a great friend of mine. I'm on that board. I said, you know what, Rabbi? We're going to be surprised when we close our eyes and we open them up, who's going to be next to us in heaven? Because that is not our choice. I stopped by to tell you, man don't have a heaven or hell to put you in or take you out. Who am I talking to right now? We serve the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, and his name is Yeshua, Jesus, and the Muslims call him Esau. I remember when we used to go out to the cookouts, and we would go to either New Jersey, Pennsylvania, or Jersey City. And we had famous people in our family, as well as doctors, as well as criminals, as well as everybody. But what happened, when you entered that backyard, you dropped your titles. All right? It wasn't Lieutenant Underwood. It wasn't CEO Dwayne Jones. It wasn't criminal this. It wasn't that. But who got that party started was my drunk cousin Betty Lou. She would take the kids and she would dance and move and this and that. And boy, she made us feel good while everybody else ate and they had to a little bit hold their position. But it was Betty Lou who we all hugged and we all loved. If you came in that backyard with them attitudes, with them titles, you best believe you was going to be confronted. You wasn't going to be felt good, and you would have had to leave out of that backyard by what you did to yourself. So I stopped by to tell you, it's not about titles. It's not about what you did. It's not about what you didn't do, but it's all about God, and we come together as a family. Tori, you always in this family. You call the Lord, because we strong. We ain't going nowhere. Weevils wobble, but they don't fall down. A righteous man, when he falls, he gets up several times. You know, he like, and he back up, right? And he back up. Then he go all the way down. Then the hand grabs him and pull him up. You ain't got to worry, because we pull up people in this family. We like baby kids. We don't divide, we multiply. And we gonna keep going together. We're not leaving nobody out in this family. And I thank you. You're like Esther, the queen. Had his little attitude. He had whatever. But I can see your spirit that you knew how to go to God. Young lady, you keep going to God. Because there's so many blessings before you. Don't pay attention about what they said. You don't think about what happened in them papers. Because God got you. Amen. You keep going.